Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I hope today finds you enjoying some lovely weather, observing Reconciliation Day if that is your choice, and maybe throwing in a little crafting time for yourself. So, today I used a new machine. I used my M1 Ultra, which is by Xtool, and it is a laser cutting machine. So, you're going to start seeing a few projects that are done with the laser machine. It's very easy to use, and I really, really did enjoy it. I will go more in depth when I'm more comfortable with it. But for now, I cut out for my display pumpkins. And so it comes out of the laser cutter exactly as you see it here. And we're going to grab some chalk paint here and we're going to paint it out. I hope you guys are all enjoying whatever you are doing. Have you started? Whoops, forgot I used, let granddaughter use that one for glue. Have you started your Christmas decor yet? Are you done your Christmas decor and ready for the season? What is the story? I know that I am way, 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 way behind and need to catch up. But with moving, like with the orchard, and then moving my craft area, my craft studio, as it's being referred to these days, downstairs into our rental apartment. Like we're no longer renting it out. We're using it for my craft studio. Um, it got busy, really busy, and as always, life gets busy, and so I fell behind, not in my presence, but in my decor. So now I'm taking each holiday as it comes, and I thought, oh, we're so close to Thanksgiving that I have to start getting some new items finished. I'm still going to use some of my Chalk Couture items because you all know that I do like Chalk Couture, and I'll be using some of them because some that I liked, some of my favorites I kept from last year, and I'll put them out again. And now I'll be putting out what I make. And this one I really like. Do you know what I was thinking? Actually, I will not tell a fib. My husband got a step ahead of me and said, if you cut this piece right here off and like kind of make it flat, you have a snowman. And I thought, brilliant. Now I don't have to design the snowman. He'll just be there ready to go, right? So this one here, I am going to use as a pumpkin tower for Thanksgiving. And then once Thanksgiving is over, I am going to put in jack-o'-lantern faces and use it as a jack-o'-lantern tower. And then after that, or sometime in the next little while, I will go ahead and I will cut out another one, just this one, and turn it into a snowman. So I love designs that I can use more than one way, and I'm sure you do too. Now, if you don't have a laser cutter, don't get discouraged. Cut the design out with scissors in whatever size you want and go for it, right? I call this laser cutter my Cricut on steroids because it does everything a Cricut does, including, hang on to yourselves, printing. It does have a print head and it does print on wood too. So you're going to see lots of projects. Now, this one I paint my bottom one there. Oops, I need to move some. I painted in the Chalk Couture Hey Pumpkin. It was an in vogue color. And then this one here is going to have a couple of colors on it. So the main color, I'm going to use the in vogue Saffron. Trying to use these because I haven't been chalking in a little while and they're starting to, you know, after sitting for so long, they're starting to get a little dry and stiff. And so I'm going to get them used up and order fresh. Excited to do that. So for this one, like I said, saffron. And I'm just going to paint it over. So we'll have two contrasting colors. When you cut something like this, be very gentle when handling it because some of the pieces feel like they could break off easily, right? Ooh. So here we go. When I paint with chalk, I just dip and paint. If you're worried about using too much of your chalk up, you could do this and thin it out a little and use it as a thinner paint. But I want the thick look on this one. Okay? So I am using it directly from the jar. But the advantage to me using chalk paste like this is that it dries like super fast, right? It's awesome that way. So when I'm making bulk projects, because I have a couple of people who want these. I don't have to worry about waiting for drying time. I can give it like 5 or 10 minutes at the most to sit and dry. And usually by the time I'm done finishing painting this part, whatever I have previously painted is dry. Which for me, big advantage, right? Or for anybody really. You can, if you get a phone call last minute, come on over, holiday cheer time, you can make a last minute gift, and instead of waiting for acrylics to dry, you can paint with chalk paste or chalk paint of any kind, and it dries so fast. So keep that in mind if you have to do an emergency gift for someone. It's like they say, you could go and buy this for probably, well, now $4 from the dollar store, or you can do like a crafter and make it for 30. And that's an exaggeration. It's not costing me that much. But, I always think that if I can make it, it means more. So there we go. I have you all covered in saffron, and I'm going to shift it around. Ooh, I also have fingers covered in saffron. Yippee! And I'm going to paint in my leaf and my stem now. And I chose camel for my stem. And I do need to add a bit of water for my camel because it is a little on the thick side. I need to work it out here. Alrighty. And I just chose this color for my stem, keeping it simple and basic. Okay? This isn't one of those fancy projects. This is a simple, basic pumpkin tower. So there we go. Stem is painted in, and I'm going to paint these green. Oh, better not forget my stem on this one. And I'm going to paint this green so that you know that it's the leaves and the vine, right? So here we go. You could paint this in shimmer chalk paint. You could paint it in acrylic paints. You could have, if you have a laser cutter, you could have engraved this part of it on so it looked burnt in. Many, many options. If you're using your paper cutter, you could cut this part and this part and this part using simply patterned paper, right? Like, your limits when crafting, as I am sure you have had many times, are your imagination. That's the limits to crafting. If you're not sure that it's going to work, try it. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work, and you've learned something. Best that it can happen, it works, and you've learned something. It's all about trial and error in the end. Now this one here that I cut out is simply basswood. It is 3mm basswood. That's all it is. Oop, 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 oop. Almost forgot the other piece. Really need to get this green all softened up better. Mix in a bunch of water and then leave it closed overnight and mix it again tomorrow. And that'll bring it right back to life. And now, like I said, just minutes to dry while I try and find my fingers. And all I'm going to do to glue this together is use a bit of wood glue. I'm not going to glue it together until I know for sure that everything is dry, so that when I am moving it, I don't ruin my paint job, right? Because I never get it lined up exactly the first time, so I would rather be able to move it and take my time getting it all lined up. Whew. If you guys would like to, I'm more than happy to have you share any kind of project. It doesn't even have to be Thanksgiving, Halloween, like holiday related, I should say. It can be any projects that you're doing. Share in the comments. Or if you're a more experienced laser cutter and you have some tips for me, oh please feel free to share them with me. Okay? I must admit it was an easy laser cutter to use. I opened it up and did my first cut right away. But I'm a little nervous because, I'm cutting wood with a laser. It's a little nerve-wracking, to be honest. But I will keep doing it. And, of course, it will become like my Cricut, where I know what I'm doing and I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. So here we go. By now, my paint is mostly dry, and I'm going to lay this down. Whoops. And I'm going to lay this down. And this right here is what my Thanksgiving tower of pumpkins will look like. And I may do it again in like a smaller version. So I'll have one, two. I don't know. I have not decided, but I do know that this still has a bit of wet paint on it. So I'm going to lay it there. I am going to wish you all a great day. Like I said, please, please, please feel free to share in the comments, offer advice, suggestions if you can think of a way to change it up. Like I said, this side will be uh, Thanksgiving. This side, where some of the sap, you'll notice, will become um, Halloween. I'm going to cut another piece like this out. And it will become Halloween on this side with jack-o'-lantern faces. And then when I cut out another one of these, I'm going to cut off, take the stem off, and it will become snowmen. So as always, find multiple ways to use everything in order to save yourself some crafting dollars for the things that you really, really want. All right. I will wish you happy days ahead and have fun crafting. We will talk with you soon. Bye.